Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Welcome back to NASCAR Thunder 2004. It is time for career mode, and yes, we brought back the special alternate paint scheme for Buffet Racing South, the White Tiger paint scheme, so to speak. But anyways, what a crazy finish at Texas Motor Speedway. Jeff Gordon wins the Lone Star event in 09. And back-to-back years, we had engine issues. Last year, we blew up. We had a rally late. We fought and got like a top 5. But this time, I learned something really interesting, that if you kind of like reduce the RPMs and just run about 170, maybe 175, and just kind of just play with the throttle, it actually extends the engine life. So you can kind of hobble it on home. So we were going hard for the win, blew the engine, and pretty much we barely survived and netted a top 5. So what could have been a Winston Cup victory lane visit for Buffet Racing South ended up just being a close call in a top 5. So those are the moments that generally decide who's going to win a championship. It's the races that you're doomed to lose. If you could turn around and salvage a good finish, those will pay dividends down the road. So for Kevin Harvick, he's your Winston Cup points leader, and had a stout season in 2008. 6th place in the point standings with 3 Winston Cup wins. Kevin Harvick and the Richard Childress Racing stable really poised to win. But one thing that's just apparent to me is that how many Monte Carlos are in the top 10. Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Buffet Racing South, Labonte. I mean, we're talking about 7 out of the top 10 in points are all Monte Carlos. So we're going to be running the alternate paint scheme here. We're going to Talladega. Let's see what the sponsors think. We Care or Safety Clean, whatever you want to call them. They're not too happy, so hopefully they'll get off the car in due time. Anyways, let's go check out what's going on in the garage here. So we got to get some parts worked on here. Let's get this. Let's go and get this chassis overhauled. Luckily, our new parts are almost in-house yet. They're almost here. Overhauling that piece there, and we're overhauling that piece there. So we're getting some work done at the Buffet Racing South shop. Let's go ahead and see chassis here. See, we're going to Talladega. You got to bring the best equipment you got. Definitely got our plate car. It's been polished. It's been worked on pretty well. So we'll get that one tuned up. And car rating of 81. Let's go to Talladega. Alright, folks. Qualifying on pole for the Aaron's 499. I tell you what, though. We've got a stout race car. How is this one going to play out? You're going to have 2 pit stops. It's going to be interesting. We had a good shot at the 500 earlier this season. We got kind of screwed out on the pit stop. How is this one going to play out? We're going to be starting on the front row with the Winston Cup points leader, Kevin Harvick. So without further ado, let's go into the down track side for the Aaron's 499.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Series visits the famous Talladega Superspeedway today for the Aaron's 499. This is Joe Moore and Barney Hall for MRN, and we're live to bring you all the action. We should be in for quite a show today, Barney.
Let me sum it up for you all. 2.6 miles, 4 lanes, 190 miles an hour. Just doesn't get much better. Let's just hope these guys can stay out of the big one.
The Safety Clean car has an impressive average finish this year.
Well, points. Wins are great when they come, but top 10 finishes week after week are what build your points. Heck, you can win the championship on top 10s alone if you're consistent.
Casey Mears hasn't made much of a move in the points so far.
And how frustrating that must be. You're working just as hard as everyone else, yet you just can't seem to finish well on race days to gain the valuable points you need. These guys need a good finish just to regain their confidence as a team.
An unusual back-of-the-pack start for Michael Waltrip.
You're right, it's going to be tough for him. You get so used to starting up front, and then you have an off week and you have to start towards the back. Then when race day comes, you feel like you passed 1,000 cars at the end. And worse yet, sometimes you never make it to the front.
Alrighty, folks, here we go. Kevin Harvick, Buffet Racing South, front row here at Talladega Super Speedway, throwing Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, heck, even Ryan Newman. This is going to get interesting, folks. So you got Jeff Gordon, who just won at Texas, right? You have the Tony Stewart, and then what's his face? Jeff Burton had a a bad DNF, even Jeff Gordon. So the championship picture right now, it's kind of been thrown in a blender. Even add in our bad finish at Bristol, but a top 5 at Texas kind of nullifies that. Gordon's back in the hunt. Anyone can win this race. It could be 2 pit stops. How do you navigate the traffic? How do you plan the strategy? Anyone can win Talladega. It is going to get exciting, folks. Here we go. Kevin Harvick, Buffet Racing South, front row, Talladega Super Speedway. Got the alternate paint scheme out and about here. And it's going to be 18 laps here today, folks. Who is going to win it? Ooh, Carlo loose there, so they're going to get a big run on us here down the back straightaway. We're going to have to be able to block Jimmy Johnson. We're going to have to be able to block Kevin Harvick. And, you know, in terms of the Winston Cup points situations, they're going to try to hold that outside lane at bay. We need to make sure we lead at least 1 lap today. You know, you can kind of get thrown in the blender during the pit cycle, you know, maybe a random caution. You never know. One thing that's about this game is that if you get a caution and it's at the right moment, the AI sometimes will get tricked and they won't pit and they'll actually run out, which will breed more cautions and it will jumble up the field. So anything could truly happen here at Talladega. We've seen some crazy, I'm talking insane finishes here. And that's why these restrictor plate races are so much fun to race, so much fun to just record, honestly. So anyways, Jimmy Johnson, who, in my opinion, is really hungry for a win. Think about it. He qualified on pole at Atlanta, didn't win it. Goes to Darlington the next week, qualifies on pole, didn't win it. Jimmy Johnson is hungry for a win. Like, he truly can win some races here in 2009. And here comes Mr. Jeff Gordon, who, in my opinion, is a championship caliber team. And I think we need to keep them from leading a lap. Of course, Kevin Harvick is your Winston Cup points leader. So, in my opinion, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and Kevin Harvick are like the 3 cars we're really having to watch for the 2009 Winston Cup Championship, and we need to keep them from leading laps. So we need to base this Talladega race not on, okay, let's go out there and win it, but let's make sure Kevin Harvick and company don't lead laps. That's what we need to do. So if that means we need to draft away from the pack, push maybe a Jimmy Johnson, do whatever it takes, just don't let these drivers lead a lap. And, you know, that's the one thing that's really difficult about running up in the front is that you can't kind of decide who to push and where to go. If you're 5th place, you can kind of push a line ahead and maybe break away from the pack, as we've kind of established a 8-car breakaway. But if you run successful with the Kevin Harvick, the Jeff Gordon, they're going to have the opportunity to gain points, lead laps, and possibly win. So you really are kind of walking on thin ice when it comes to the competition around you. But regardless, Kevin Harvick is in 2nd place there. We've led every lap so far, so that's adding to that points total. If we can lead a couple more, we might be able to lock up the most laps led today at Talladega. Is I think someone's going to probably lead 2 to 3 laps. That's not going to win this race during the pit sequence. Could be wrong on that. But I love this paint scheme, though. The white, the black, and the red, man. Just something about this freaking car, my dude. White Tiger paint scheme, baby. Holy moly. So anyways, Kevin Harvick still staying tucked up. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr., the DEI camp, finally flexing some muscle. You know, 2008 was a record season for DEI. All 3 of their cars found victory lane. Jeff Green at Martinsville, 2 plate wins for Michael Waltrip, and then Dale Earnhardt Jr. just absolutely going crazy, wins the championship. And so far this year, it's only been Dale Jr. really making noise. But everybody's kind of just minding their own P's and Q's here, just taking care of our equipment, keeping the nose clean, and that's what we got to do here, folks. We've already won 2 races this season, and it's up to us to just keep the car out front. You know, block the runs, make sure they don't get an opportunity to pass us here. And, you know, we qualified on pole, so that's pretty cool. You know, I think that was our first pole of the season. We sat on the outside row, or outside of the front row at the Daytona 500, which, ironically enough, was won by Kevin Harvick, who nearly had the pole today. So definitely the RCR bunch and the Buffet Racing South bunch, they got the qualifying trim pretty well thought out. Jeff Gordon's going to go down the pit strip here at lap 5, going to lap 6. Remember, 2 pit stops today. So if you pitted there, let's just call it lap 6 you pitted, that would put you at, you're going to have to pit at lap 12 with 6 laps to go. It's going to get crazy, folks, because if a caution brews at the right time, the AIs will not pit. And you know what that means? That means guys are going to run out of gas on the track. Another caution will brew. It's going to get really touch and go here. So it looks like everybody is on the same agenda. They all want to go down pit road now. So we're going to lead the field down here to get some gas and tires. So we're going to have to get very careful getting on pit road here. Lock them up. It's okay. It's okay. Lock them up. No speeding. Good pit road entry. Oh, look at that. Caution right there. That's what I was talking about, fellas. Anything can happen. Oh, my goodness. So we got on pit road. We entered the scoring loop. You know, you get down pit road or whatnot before the yellow wave, so that's not a penalty to the Buffet Racing South car. Some guys didn't get on pit road when that caution was out. I think some cars could get penalized for that. We'll have to follow that. But this changes everything because everybody pretty much pitted here, but it's going to fluctuate that second pit stop. Everybody's going to be able to go 1 or 2 extra laps. So instead of pitting on, per se, lap 12, lap 13, you might see cars pitting at lap 15. And if we get another caution, they might not pit at all and run out of gas. And check this out. Brian Vickers and Scott Wimmer, heavy contact entering pit road, the Coors Light Dodge, and the Net Zero Pontiac. Oh, God, it looks like the 171 Home Depot car. A whole bunch of young guns, and it even continues to the tri-oval here. Sparks flying, cars getting on their doors and roofs. So we're already pitted. We got our service. Yeah, it looks like Jeff Green and Greg Hicks were the only 2 cats who kind of got screwed out of that deal. But this changes everything because if anyone stayed out here, and look at this. This is what I was talking about, guys. If anyone stayed out, they're going to be out of gas. And this kind of jumbles everything up. They're going to throw another caution. It appears that Elliott Sadler made the decision to not pit here. This is what I was talking about, why Talladega is must-watch TV. So look at that, caution brews, okay? Before the first yellow of today's Talladega race, the next scheduled pit stop was going to be lap 12, entering lap 13. After the first caution, that was going to be lap 15. Here's what I'm talking about, guys. Now, that target is now lap 16, lap 17 for the next scheduled pit stop with the saving of fuel. We're not going to be able to make it on gas to the end. We have to pit. So, we can't pit now because obviously our caution's out. We don't want to get penalized. This is going to be touch and go because you're going to have cars that might be able to save it on fuel. We already burned a quarter tank during the caution sequence. I'm not willing to take a chance. I'm going to go down pit road. We're going to fill this thing with as much gas as possible. And, yeah, just clearly Elliott Sadler runs out of gas. And Brian Vickers again. Tina Gordon, 2 rookies going at it. Tony Stewart, heavy damage here. So the Winston Cup point situation is going to be thrown to the blender. I mean, my goodness, Brian Vickers just makes a hard left. Everybody's running out of gas here. Calamity at Talladega. So we're going to make the heads-up decision here. We've seen this story before. We've seen this play out before. We're going to pit. Let's see. We're not going to take any damage repair. I just want a full tank of gas. I'm just going to take left side. Actually, no. If no one's pitting, we're going to take... Let's take just left sides here. I don't want to take a chance of us having a mistake and we lose this freaking race. We're just going to go with that. If we take 4 tires and someone screws up, then it's going to be an 18-second pit stop, and we're going to lose a lot of track position to the, I don't know, 7 cars on pit road. I'm not willing to take that gamble. Our tires are barely used as it is. Just put 2 on there. Fill the tank to the brim. Those cars that stayed out, they're going to have to pit again, guys. So I think we're in a good spot here and the closing laps of this Aaron's 499, the Spring Talladega race. So all these idiots ahead of us, get ready because they're going to run out of gas. So remember what I talked about, fellas. Lap 12, lap 13 was the original pit stop sequence. After caution 1, that moved to lap 14:50. After caution 2, that moved to lap 16:17. Meaning everybody is going to be 1 lap short. So when the white flag is waving, when there's no caution to end the race, we could possibly see a crap load. Half the field could be out of gas. So this is truly going to be a crazy finish at Talladega. And the caution brews again. This could change that. The 3rd caution of the day, and this will not end the race, fellas. We will get 1 more restart. Get as many positions as you can. Will the drivers pit and top off? This truly is going to create an upset winner. Like, this could be a huge day for someone who has never been able to win a Winston Cup race. Oh, boy. For us, just survive and advance. Take care of the car. Try to get through it. Let's see what happened here. Probably a debris caution, maybe off Tony Stewart. And indeed it was. A beautiful paint scheme. Yeah, the whole back end of that car is just tail dragging. A lot of beat up sheet metal here at Talladega. And this is setting up to be a crazy finish. This is why the Talladega and Daytona races, especially Talladega on this game, is absolutely bonkers. So Gordon, this is what I talked about. Everybody had to pit. They were going to run out. Harvick, Jeff Gordon, championship contenders, they have to pit. Here we go. One lap to settle it. Oh my goodness. It's going to be, oh, Mayfield in the Mountain Dew Dodge runs out of gas. Here comes Jimmy Johnson with Dale Jr. Oh boy, now we got DEI horsepower all around us. It's a one-lap shootout to settle at Talladega. Johnson, Buffet Racing South side by side. Who is going to win at Dega? Oh my goodness, man, this is not good. Crap, there's Jeff Green. Come on, Jeff Green, let's go get it. I will push Jeff Green to a Winston Cup win if I can. Come on, Green. Come on, man. Go, go. No, don't wreck him. Dang it. I'm sorry, Green. Oh, no, Johnson's out of gas. Johnson is out of gas. We're going to go on around him. We're going to have barely enough fuel. Well, roughly a quarter and a half worth of fuel. I'm sorry, Jeff Green, but honestly, I think he ran out of gas too, so it wouldn't have mattered. And through all the chaos, with just a little bit of a scrape, Buffet Racing South gets their third win of 2009. Insane finish. Wow. That was cool, folks. And that's what I talked about, how Talladega can be an insane race. 3 cautions. I mean, it was incredible. It threw the pit sequence all through a loop. And you think about it, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, they pitted there to get those the top off on fuel to make sure they could get to the end of the race. They were probably outside the top 15 on that final restart. Well, with roughly 10 cars running out of gas, they could have netted a top 10 finish. Who knows? Probably took fresh tires, too. I'm going to try to keep this car out of the dirt, you know, the clean white tiger, trying to keep it good. I love this paint scheme, though. I really, really want to build a die-cast of it. The only problem is that, you know, the printer I use, whenever I print out, like, black decals, it actually prints out brown. So, like, the 2006 Daytona 500 car I made, that paint scheme, it's actually white, brown, and like orange yellow because it don't print out black. So if I get a better printer one day, maybe we can make some more of these paint schemes. But yeah, huge win, man. I mean, really took advantage of a crazy Talladega race, and while everyone else was beat up, we found a way to survive and advance.
Fantastic job. Keep it.
Alright folks, time to go to victory lane here at Talladega. I mean, just minor front-end damage to the car, but wow, I mean, what a crazy freaking race, guys. I mean, 3 cautions. If that doesn't deserve a thumbs up, I don't know what does, but, hey, we got our first win with the alternate paint scheme. Second win with the alternate paint scheme, that's right, because we won Atlanta with this car. So I'd say the White Tigers definitely got the cat's meow, so to speak. Definitely did a pretty good job just keeping the car out front and just taking care of it, you know. If we didn't pit when we did, we shouldn't have won this race because everyone else was going to have to pit. We had to pit. We kind of outfoxed them there and pitted and caught the lucky caution. But if they didn't get that third caution, everyone would have ran out, and if it was the lap before the white flag, they would have threw a yellow then, so it was kind of inevitable that we were to get it. But look at the sponsor income! My goodness, $4.12 million. Holy sheesh, man. Anyway, so we led 7 laps to get the maximum bonus points there for the 82 car, and, you know, we qualified first, we won the race. Great day for Buffet Racing South, but, I mean, look at the top 5. I mean, Sadler, Nemechek, Johnson, Montgomery, I mean, my goodness, man. Even the Wood brothers gets a top 10, but you start thinking about Winston Cup implications here. Dale Jr. outside the top 10. Oh, my God. Ron Hornaday got top 20. Kevin Harvick, 22nd. Jeff Gordon, 23rd, just for the look here. We gained about nearly 100 points on both of those, so that's great. And you go through the field here, definitely 100 on Martin Martin, 100 at least on Tony Stewart. Bobby Labonte, who's actually been up in the points, even Jeff Burton. So, I mean, and Robbie Gordon, tough luck for him. Brian Vickers got 2 cautions during the race. Tough luck for the rookie. But with all things considered, we actually gained a crap load of points on the rest of the contenders. And we might be the points leader after Talladega. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Upload these videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the channel. With all that being said, folks, stay humble. Diecast Buffet from Victory Lane. Don't know how we survived it, but we did. Signing off.